Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
My name is David Bard. 52 years ago, I was born not far from here up at St. Luke's Hospital. And I'm currently the pastor of First United Methodist Church in Duluth. Some of you may know it as the Coppertop Church. I stand before you today as a person of faith, as a leader of a faith community, opposed to the 2012 marriage amendment. Sometimes people say that perhaps I have been captured by an alien agenda, swayed by people who really don't care about communities of faith. Well, I disagree. I am here because I have been captured. My heart and my soul have been captured by the love of God. Now, as a Christian, I understand that love most through Jesus. Others see it in the Torah or the Quran or the Bhagavad Gita. My heart and mind have been captured as well by a vision of an inclusive community. I hear about that inclusive community in the words of the Hebrew prophets. I see it in the table fellowship of Jesus. And I know others see visions of an inclusive community in the Quran, the writings of Gandhi, the Buddhist sutras. I am here because of the words of Paul, who beyond some of his dated and culture-bound statements on a number of issues, was profoundly insightful when he said, in the end, what matters, what remains, are faith, hope, and love. And he was crystal clear about this. The greatest of these is love. Loving, nurturing, committed relationships need to be celebrated and supported and encouraged. The 2012 marriage amendment does not do this. It restricts and limits relationships. Relationships that allow couples to share the joys and sorrows that accompany the vicissitudes of life. Those relationships need to be celebrated and encouraged. The 2012 marriage amendment does not do this. All families need support and recognition. The 2012 marriage amendment does not do this. Saturday morning, I received a call. Somebody called my home, and I was at the church that morning, and my wife called me and said, somebody called, and she sounds rather shaken, and she wouldn't leave her name, but she wants to talk to you. That's always quite an invitation to pick up the phone and dial it. So I picked up the phone and I called. The woman, I could tell, not only by the tone of her voice, but by some of the stories she told, was not a young woman. And her first question to me was, why don't you support this amendment? She read remarks I'd made in the newspaper that morning. And I began to talk a little bit about the Constitution and about my religious faith and my sense that committed, loving relationships are part of God's purposes for humankind. And she wasn't quite getting my remarks, and she began to tell me about gay and lesbian people she knew and how she cared for them. And why was it that they shouldn't be allowed to be married? And it dawned on me that she didn't quite grasp what was going on with this amendment. And I said, you know, we agree on this. I said, if you want to see your gay and lesbian friends and the people you know have the opportunity to be married, you will vote against this amendment. And she, for whatever reason, at the end of our conversation said to me, I feel so much better after talking to you. Thank you. I want this woman and so many others to know that out of deep convictions of faith, out of a sense of God's love and a vision of an inclusive community, I oppose the 2012 marriage amendment. In the end, love. Thank you.